Kazakhstan. I want to talk about Kazakhstan. This country has some of the best arm wrestlers out there. If you didn't know that arm wrestling is huge in Kazakhstan, it's kind of interesting because if you're from the West, most people don't really know too much about a place like this in general, to be honest, but it just so happens that they have amazing arm wrestlers. They even have schools where little kids basically train for arm wrestling, and they take it very seriously over there, which is why in the WAF Worlds, if you watch the World Arm Wrestling Federation Championships, there's so many athletes coming from this country, and just in general, there's a lot of top athletes from this country. From the top of my head, I'm thinking Ongarbayev, I'm thinking about Morozov, I'm thinking about this guy Talgat Akhtayev, and there's so many more amazing athletes from Kazakhstan. It's interesting to see just how culturally it's a big sport over there compared to somewhere in the U.S., which has a significantly higher population, but it's more of an underground sport here. It's more of like a bar sport, or just like a hangout sport more than anything, instead of taken completely serious, like professionally, like they do in other countries in Eastern Europe and Kazakhstan as well. If we look at the WAF World Championship, like the finals from this year, there's so many athletes in each weight class basically who are competing from Kazakhstan at a high level. Like here we got 55 kilograms, so these are like the lightest guys, and obviously they're both from Kazakhstan here.
I'll come down to this.
And they're so technical too. They're all very technically skilled. They have such a large amount of people to train with to refine their technique.
Final World Arm Wrestling Championship title.
I mean, we got the 55 kilogram guys are from Kazakhstan. We got,
Kazakhstan.
what is this? This is the next weight class. More guys from Kazakhstan. Another weight class. More guys from Kazakhstan.
Where?
Oh, we got some other guys. Oh, this guy's a beast. This guy, Nordulet, this guy is insane. He beat Prokopchuk here this year, finally. Amazing speed in the top roll. And he lost last year to Prokopchuk. I remember watching that. That was a huge win for him.
It's a win.
And if we keep looking through, though, and this is just the finals. I mean, here's another athlete. This dude, this was, I believe, the 90 kilogram class. He got second to Sasha, but another guy from Kazakhstan. I mean, it's just crazy. We're talking about a world championship. You'd think it would be more diversely spread out through the countries, but arm wrestling is predominantly like dominated by Eastern European countries, especially at an event like this that takes place over there as well. It's harder for Americans to go over there and compete. I believe they got to take a flight, and it's just a whole big ordeal. Kind of the center of arm wrestling is like Eastern Europe. These are like the countries like Kazakhstan, Ukraine, Bulgaria, Turkey, Russia. These are huge countries when it comes to arm wrestling. Here's Nardulet again.
He is from Daniel from
And if we keep looking through, here's him again. But this was just the finals, and in general, they always have amazing athletes. Like if we look at this video from ArmBets TV, you can basically see how some of the schools are like in Kazakhstan, where they literally teach like little kids lifting for arm wrestling specific, and training on the table as well. It's kind of astounding. Like imagine if in America we had like arm wrestling schools. Like that would be the future. Like, and just think about it, because like in America, like football is the sport. Like if you're in high school, like what's the most like popular sport? It's going to be football. It's going to be baseball. Those are going to be the main ones. Soccer as well, but soccer isn't as big as in like other South American countries or like some countries in Europe, but it's mostly football. So just imagine if all those resources that go into a sport like that, with coaches, training, facilities, and stuff like that, was into a sport like arm wrestling, how much more advanced we would be, and we would see so many more genetic freaks, because there's so much untapped potential when it comes to genetics. And as the sport is growing, there's more and more people who are pushing the level of arm wrestling just due to their genetics. And when you have a higher talent pool, more people to pull from, then there's going to be more athletes. Instead of it being underground, then it's less competitive, is what I'm saying. Like if you lived in a country like Kazakhstan, there's no wonder that if you're going to be the top in a country like that, that you're beating guys who are very skilled. Like I would imagine that the top 20% of the guys in Kazakhstan against the bottom 80%, even the bottom 80% in Kazakhstan are like highly skilled, because they've been training so much. compared to like a place like America. Unless you're in like a good region where there's a lot of highly skilled guys to train with, it can be harder to improve, because like if you're in some rural area and you don't have that many people to train with, at the end of the day with arm wrestling, you get better from having good training partners, and that's just how it is. So like, let's take a look at this video. I mean, literally a school with little kids in Kazakhstan where they're having matches.
Именно на этом клуб Шардара Армспорт и основывает свою стратегию развития.
Like they're literally starting these kids at like 5 years old, which is fascinating. No wonder they have so many incredibly skilled athletes. So this one town, Shardara, has 60% of the entire Kazakhstan national arm wrestling, I guess, competitors that go to the high level events, which just, it goes to show that talent, like when you're in a facility that has talented athletes, it's only going to make the newer guys who start get even more talented and skilled because they're being brought up in that environment. Like, you are who you train with at the end of the day. That's why in America, if you want to get better at arm wrestling, you got to go to a place where there's good arm wrestlers. I can't stress that enough. Like if you're in some rural area and you don't have enough people to train with, like you get better by training with people who are highly skilled. That's incredibly important. So a place like this is just phenomenal to get better at the sport. I mean, it's almost crazy to see. Like imagine this in America. Imagine this. There's all these little kids like in a class just so fascinated about arm wrestling. This is awesome. And let's take a look. Like I want to skip forward. Obviously they're having matches and stuff, but you can look at them in the gym as well. Like this is just incredible. They're doing full arm wrestling workouts, like 5, 6 years old, pronation. Yeah, no wonder they have so many killers, absolute killers when it comes to arm wrestling. If you're new to arm wrestling, you probably didn't even know this was a thing. You're probably thinking, "What? Kazakhstan? I haven't even heard of this country. Why would they be the best in arm wrestling, or at least have some of the best athletes participating?" Look at this. They're training their riser there, I mean, they're doing all sorts of specific movements for arm wrestling. The lab of champions, as this says, and it makes sense. Anyways, go check out that full video. I'll put the link to that in the description. That was from Armbets TV, where they do a little documentary on that town in Kazakhstan, which is pretty fascinating. I want to show one more video just to show the level of these athletes. This is the championship of Kazakhstan arm wrestling. This was from this year. You can see how serious they take it. I'm just gonna mute this music, but and they're also like technically skilled. Like the way they shoot in the hook, the way this guy shoots in the hook is just supremely skilled. Americans, you just see a lot of times some guys are they're not even technical. Obviously, there's a lot of technical athletes from America. I'm not going to dispute that, but it's not the majority in America, I wouldn't say, are highly technically skilled. Like you can see these guys having an absolute war. Oh, here's Angarbayev here. He's one of the top athletes from Kazakhstan. He just beat John Brzezinski, which is no small achievement. Here's him. I'm pretty sure he won this whole thing. Just incredible top roll from this guy. Like, amazing. Oh, this is Talgat. Talgat is this guy with the lethal press. He just beat Oleg, the Ukrainian mutant, the guy with like a double-sized forearm from Ukraine. He's known for having just an incredible press, this Talgat guy. I want to show one more video actually of Talgat, might as well. This is him against Vlad from Latvia which is another really good arm wrestler from Latvia. Here's Talgat coming in. This was from a year ago. Well, let's go to round one. He's got an absolutely lethal press, and he's super fast, Talgat. Now, Vlad is also super skilled arm wrestler, but let's see how this one plays out. Slip out there. Looks like Vlad is dragging his elbow back pretty hard there. And then here's the first pin here. Straight down. Just so fast with that press as Talgat. Incredible. Let's go to the second round here. Once again. He does it again. So it's 2-0. Here's the third round. Oh, he's slowing down a little bit. Vlad is able to stop his hit a little bit more there. But his elbow is coming off the pad there. That's an elbow foul. Let's see how the restart goes. Oh, he's got the stop there. He's just got to keep his elbow on the pad. Oh, he's transitioning inside. That was a good, oh, strap. Wow, he slipped under. Talgat slipped under there. It looks like Vlad was about to press him down there. That transition, he's got the hand control, and then he transitioned inside there. Talgat still able to slip underneath. Surprising that isn't a loss. That seems very intentional. But it wasn't quite a losing position yet. Here's the strap match. And he still goes for the press. And that's a win. Right to the pad. Incredible. Are they calling a foul? No foul. That's a win. 3-0 for Talgat. I think this is the best of 6. Ooh. Here's match 4. The hand control from Vlad, but Talgat still has the side pressure from that position. They're going into the straps. This is match number 4. Once again, right to the pad. He's just too strong, too explosive. Vlad wasn't even able to slow him down that time. That just kind of shows you, I don't know what happens with the last 2 matches, but I'm assuming Talgat just won them, to be honest. But that just shows you the level of some of these Kazakhstan athletes, and it's very fascinating to me, to be honest, coming from America, where the sport is not, I mean, it's growing a lot, but it's not like, it's not huge culturally by any means. Definitely, it's still more on the underground side, absolutely, compared to, I feel like, from what I've seen in places like Ukraine, Bulgaria, Turkey, governments will like sponsor the athletes to compete and actually pay them and stuff like that, which definitely not happening in America. The only way to make money from arm wrestling in America is through social media, through sponsorships. So you can get some type of local sponsorship to compete, to promote a brand or something like that, but it's mostly just social media. Like you take a look at Michael Todd, just the YouTube is a huge way of getting that revenue as an athlete from the US with arm wrestling. You look at guys like Derek Smith growing on YouTube, Chance Shaw as well, investing a lot of energy in YouTube. Michael Todd, obviously Devin Laratt, I mean, he's been one of the hugest influences on YouTube since arm wrestling, since I got into arm wrestling at least, because he was one of the first person's videos I started watching on YouTube. He was one of the first YouTube arm wrestlers. Also, Coach Ray with Voice of Arm Wrestling over there in Latvia. So I think social media is the way for Western athletes to get kind of recognition or to get some type of financial gain from it. But in these Eastern European countries, the government and just these cities are just pumping out absolute amazing athletes, just due to, I mean, you see a place like that, Shardara in Kazakhstan, where they literally have little 5-year-olds starting to train. And just imagine if you started at 5 and were consistent all the way up until 18, 20, by then you've already had over 10, 15 years of training. And 10, 15 years of training is a lot for a sport like arm wrestling. That can take you to a super high level, just technically speaking, and the tendon strength that will come in all that time of training. So it's just fascinating to see how different countries, such as Kazakhstan, treat arm wrestling at the end of the day. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think this sport will grow at some point to where other countries will have a bigger presence in arm wrestling, or bigger centers, better facilities, more funding? Because at the end of the day, it kind of comes down to money and having the ability to have like centers for arm wrestling, or I guess raise awareness, because when there's more people in it, then there's more money in it, and that just kind of comes along with it. But it's interesting because you don't see places like Africa or South America or even like Eastern Asia, like you don't really see Chinese, Japanese, many of these arm wrestlers on a top level, or at least you don't see them in professional competitions very often. You will see the rare person from some South Africa, or Africa or South America in like a WAF World Championship, but usually they don't place well at all. And it just doesn't seem to be as big of a sport in some countries like that. But, or even in like the Middle East, you don't really see too many amazing athletes coming, or at least that are highlighted. You don't see them going to European tournaments, at least I would say, or like Indian athletes. Obviously there's some on the rise, like you'll see some of them in Dubai and stuff like that. Anyways, leave a comment. What do you think about the future of arm wrestling? Is it going to grow to other countries? Is there going to be more funding? Is there going to be more facilities, more opportunities for arm wrestling? I think it's heading in that direction. The sport is growing a lot, which is awesome, and I'm very happy to be a part of it. So leave a like, leave a comment, and I'm going to be sharing a lot more arm wrestling videos soon. Thank you for watching the video. Appreciate it.